This is how I doubled my income overnight. This strategy I'm about to show you doubled many of my company's income overnight. Let me show you how all the richest people do it and the biggest companies do it and how you could do it as well. I use a strategy called a bolt-on acquisition. This is when your company buys another company or multiple companies that are very similar to their company and you could exponentially grow your business overnight. Let me show you an example of one that I recently did. As you guys saw in a previous video right here, I bought a business called Marietta Trophy using none of my own money. After I bought Marietta Trophy, I wanted to grow the business and make way more money than it was previously making. So I had a few options. I could either market, advertise, and spend a lot of money and grow slowly, or I could target other trophy stores or other like businesses and buy them and grow very, very fast. So obviously I didn't want to go slow and start marketing and grow very, very slowly. So what I did was I went ahead and I started marketing to all these different trophy stores and other sign shops and very similar businesses so I could buy other businesses and grow very, very fast. So what Marietta Trophy did right away was buy a couple more trophy stores using different acquisition strategies, using none of their own money to buy more businesses. I actually right now currently have about 2 or 3 more trophy stores that I'm very, very close to buying. But let me talk about the one I most recently bought called Alpha Awards. I'm gonna break it down and show you how I did it using none of my money and none of anybody's money. Before I get into all the numbers about this business, let me give you a little backstory about the business, how I found it, and why the business owner sold the business. There are many, many ways to find businesses to buy. This particular business I found by one of the vendors that sells me a lot of product came to me and told me, look, they have another person they sell a lot of product to that was looking to sell their business and asked me if I was interested. I said, well, hell yeah, I'm interested. So they got us together and we started talking and we finally worked the deal months after the negotiations. You might be thinking, why did this owner sell this very profitable business? Well, there's many, many reasons why a business owner will sell a profitable business, but I'm gonna tell you why this particular business was sold. There are many reasons why a business owner will sell a profitable business. This business was sold because the owner was very motivated because they were 70 some years old, they were ready to retire, they had nobody to hand the business down to, and their only options were either to shut it down or to sell it. So guess what? I was there, I was the one to buy it. I started talking to the seller right after COVID happened in the middle of 2020. Well, what do you think happened to the trophy business? They went down like crazy because people weren't needing to buy trophies because there wasn't many events. So she was extra motivated. And I was able to get this at a really good price with great terms. Guys, so check this out. This is all extra inventory. Like, we have so much inventory here. Literally this stuff here, it will take us like years and years to need to get to all this stuff. So we could sell all this extra stuff, get the cash from it, and as we need it, buy it back. So besides all this inventory I have at my first trophy store, every trophy store that I bought has this much more stuff. It's crazy, we just don't need it all. If we ever needed it, we could buy it when we need it. There's no reason to keep tens of thousands of dollars worth of extra inventory around. So this is a laser machine. This is how we make all our stuff. We put the items in here and it lasers whatever we want to say and it engraves everything into it. So literally every trophy store has at least one of these. Some of them have 2, 3 or more. We already have 3 of our own. So every single time we buy another trophy shop, we could sell the ones that they have because we're already used to the ones we have. So these machines literally cost $5, $10, $15, $20,000 each. So any single time I buy a trophy store, I could sell it and use that money toward the down payment of another location. Of course, there's all kinds of presses, there's all kinds of sublimation machines and saws. All this stuff's worth a few $100 here, $100 there, a few $100 here. Before you know it, you have thousands of dollars worth of stuff you could sell because you don't need multiple of these if you're merging everything into one location. So this right here is a sandblast machine. This is how we blast into, so some stuff you want to engrave, some stuff you want to sandblast. It makes it look a little different. But again, you only need one sandblasting machine. So if another trophy store has one, you could sell it. And that's another few $100 here and another few $100 there. Again, tons and tons of extra inventory. There's no reason to keep this much inventory. So what you could do is you could take this extra inventory, sell it. When I first started talking to the seller, they wanted $150,000 for the business and they wanted all the money up front. I was able to negotiate this deal down to half of what she was wanting, $75,000. And more importantly, I was able to negotiate it down to where she only took 20% of that money up front. I gave her $15,000 up front and then the other $60,000 over 30 months, $2,000 a month for 30 months. You might be thinking, how did I get him down from $150,000 to 75,000 and then those crazy terms. Well, this didn't happen on the first conversation. I literally talked to this lady, and maybe 6 months later, 6 months worth of talking, we negotiated back and forth, and she realized this was the best option. There was nobody else that really wanted to buy this business, and it was in a slump. It was COVID. It wasn't making any money. You're probably thinking, well, wait a second. You just told me earlier that you didn't spend any of your own money buying this. Now you just said you spent $15,000 up front. Well, how could that be? Well, tell me the truth. Well, this is how I came up with the $15,000. I went through all her inventory and equipment, and I saw she had a couple laser machines, a couple other machines, and a ton of inventory that I didn't need. So what I did was I posted all her stuff on Craigslist, and I found some people to buy all the stuff I didn't need, and I ended up coming up with over $15,000 to sell all this extra stuff. Well, guess what? The day that I closed on this business, I sold everything, and I used that money for the down payment. We've got boxes and boxes and boxes of extra inventory. Some of this stuff's like hundreds of dollars a box. So we have thousands of dollars worth of stuff here, and we just don't need it all for extra inventory. We can order this stuff when we need it. Boxes and boxes of extra inventory. Boxes and boxes. You just don't need this much. Here's a few machines how we make and engrave other types of products. We have extra machines. You could sell a lot of these machines because you just don't need to use them all the time. So again, if you look in this room, there's so much extra inventory. We have tons and tons and tons of plaques. Now we go through a lot of them, but you could buy them as you need them. So if somebody has just crazy amounts of all these extra awards and extra plaques and extra stuff, you could sell a lot of this stuff to use it for some of a down payment if you're trying to buy that location. These things aren't cheap. These are $50, $60 each, a lot of these. So, if you have dozens or hundreds of them, that's a lot of extra money laying around. So you wanna hear something crazy? I guarantee you that most of the stuff we have on the shelves here have been here for years collecting dust. We probably don't even use most of this stuff. So it's probably, the stuff that you don't use that much. If there's a way to sell it and get rid of it, you might as well. And then as you need it, you just buy it. So all I did was use the cash flow of the business. So literally the money that the business was making every single month, I just gave the owner part of that money until it's paid off. So I've had this question asked me before, and a lot of you guys might be wondering,
well, I'm a multi-millionaire. I could buy that business for $75,000. Why do I want to buy it with no money?
Well, guess what? No matter how much money somebody has, if you use your cash to buy every single thing you want to buy, you're gonna run out of money at some point. But if you don't have to use your own cash, you could buy unlimited amounts of stuff forever and never have to worry about it. So whether you're broke and have no money, or whether you have tons of money, you should always target buying businesses using none of your money. Now back to the business numbers. Well, before I bought this business and before COVID, this business was making almost $200,000 a year. But because of COVID, this business ended up dropping to where it was making maybe $75,000 a year in 2020 when I ended up buying this business. This is one of the main reasons why I was able to talk the seller down and get the business at the price that I wanted. Using this bolt-on method, I was able to drop the expenses of the Alpha Award business drastically. First off, besides the owner retiring, most of the people working there were all older and they all wanted to retire. So I just took that business and moved it into my own location. I already had the employees there, so I was able to cut out a lot of the employee expense. I didn't have to pay for rent anymore because I was able to move everything, and now I had everything under one roof. So I was able to instantly drop all the expenses. And very shortly, I got the business back to what it was doing pre-COVID. It took a little while, but I got it to $150,000 and eventually $200,000. After seeing this example, it's pretty clear why bolt-ons are such a good acquisition strategy. However, there's many more great reasons why bolt-ons are so good, such as it's easy to acquire and operate because you already know the business. Smaller companies are often very willing to be acquired by bigger companies. Sellers feel much more comfortable selling their business to somebody that's already in the industry and understands it. It's easiest to grow your business by buying another established business. You're instantly able to grow profits by cutting similar expenses. Every time you buy a bolt-on, you can always add new products and services that the other business had that you never did, which instantly helps you grow your business with the existing customers you have. You can combine your wholesale supply list to get the best prices. You're able to buy much bigger quantities now since you have multiple businesses, and that will save you a lot of money by buying in bulk. You have a big advantage buying that company over anybody else because you're already in the business and it's more valuable to you. And finally, something that I really like, I eliminate a lot of my competition around. So if you want to see the video of the business that bought Alpha Awards, check it out right here.